If you are in any way mechanically inclined, this is probably a cool car for you. Welcome to the Full Octane Garage. Today's topic is going to be changing your spark plugs in an R55 R56 Mini Cooper. It's a very simple job. You do have to have some specialized tools. You have to actually have a specialized 14mm socket, and I opted for one with a magnet in it because the magnet will help pull the spark plug out of the hole. I will have some links on Amazon to purchase these. They're fairly inexpensive. If you buy them through Pelican or one of these other places, they're going to want to charge you 50 or 60 bucks. You can get them way cheaper. They do have a magnetic piece in them. It's kind of a star configuration, so when the plug gets in there, you'll notice that it holds the plug. So when you unscrew the plug, because they are straight down into a deep hole, that it will pull the plug right out. So that's what we're going to do. The first thing we do is we pull all of the coil packs. This is how we do that. You can pull all of these out at one time because it's going to be quite apparent where the wires are. You're going to put your finger in this hook lip, and you're going to also in the bottom here there's a rubber lip, and you're going to try to twist it, and it will eventually pop out. They normally should come out pretty easy. Of course, one of these will probably prove me wrong. So far, so good. This is literally a 5-minute job. Now that we have all the coil packs out, it's time to pull the spark plugs. So we are going to take our spark plug tool, and what I did was I got an extension with a locking end on it so that when you put it in here, this is not going to pull off very easily. I got an extra extension on this one just in case I need a little more depth. So let's go see what it looks like. Okay, I actually don't need the extra extension, but I will keep it. And we're going to pull all 4 of these plugs at once. We're going to take a look at them. They do have a lot of thread, so you're going to be spinning for a good while. And actually, these plugs don't look too bad. They came with an NKG in them. We're putting a Bosch iridium plug back in it. You also want to look down in these holes and make sure that there's no dirt and debris, which can happen. And fortunately, ours look very clean for as many miles as on this car. I'm keeping these plugs in order 1, 2, 3, 4 so that I can know exactly which plug had which damage, if any. Another tool you're going to want to have is a good gapping device. So the spark plug gap should be about 32 thousandths, and the plugs that I pulled out were at about 35, which means there was probably some burn and wear on them. So the new ones are set to 32, and we're getting ready to plug them back in one at a time. So stick it in the magneted plug device, and make sure that when they go in, that they go in with ease. You don't want to cross thread these, because if you cross thread these, you are going to have a hard time ever fixing that. And also, if you don't have a locking extension, you're going to find it's going to be challenging to get the socket back out. So you definitely want to have a locking extension so that they don't pull out. These spark plugs are not cheap. The iridiums, gosh, I think for a whole set, somewhere in the $40+ range. We'll have some links They are actually, I'm using Bosch 9710s in here. They are still a 14 millimeter replacement. Sometimes when they go to a cooler plug or a hotter plug, I can't remember which one it was, often you will see the plug socket size goes up to, I believe, a 15 or 16 millimeter. And you do not want to over tighten these. You're going into an aluminum head. You want to snug them up really good, but you do not want to over tighten them. So I would not use a large leveraged socket. Just snug them down really good, and they should seat well. Okay, now it's time to put the coil packs back in. We're going to put them in, we'll go ahead and drop all 4 of them in, and then we'll set each one of them one at a time. Let's get to it. Now when we go to plug these down, we want to make sure that they seat really well and they snap in. You want to put the wires back on and they will snap back down. And you'll hear that snap in there. It'll take a little bit of pressure to get them down in there and snap right. If they don't snap all the way down, you're probably going to get more random misfires. So it does take some pressure. So it's an easy job. Don't be afraid to do it yourself. And we'll have all of the links down at the bottom so that you can order all of these parts online. It helps our channel when you do that. We appreciate you being with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends all about us. And though the R56 Mini Cooper is probably known as one of the most unreliable models of Mini Cooper, if you're somewhat mechanically inclined, don't be afraid of them. They're very reasonable to purchase. This was a bargain find for us. It didn't have a whole lot wrong with it. Parts are fairly reasonable. The most expensive parts are the turbocharger, if it happens to go, or the high pressure fuel pump, but the rest of the parts are fairly inexpensive. If you are in any way mechanically inclined, this is probably a cool car for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about all the cool content we have. If you have some ideas of things that we should be doing on our R56, drop some comments below and maybe we'll do a future video. Thanks for being with us.